everyone, in today's video we are going to be talking about how to study for an exam in a short period of time. But more specifically, I would like to focus on 5 key things that end up wasting your time. So if you want to know how to study more efficiently for your upcoming finals or competitive exams, then definitely keep on watching. Number 1. Approach customization. Now, a study method that worked a-okay for one type of exam might not be the best way to approach a different type of exam. For example, if you have a long answer question, then you would definitely need to spend a lot more time memorizing and understanding and knowing vocabulary words by heart, because you're just going to be presented with a blank piece of paper and a tiny little question at the top. Versus if you're studying for, let's say, a multiple choice question exam in a short amount of time, and you don't necessarily want to spend all your study session memorizing words. I mean, if you know the gist of them, or kind of, if you see them in the question, you will recognize them, then you're a-okay and you don't have to worry so much about it. If you want me to do a full video explaining type of exam and best study methods to approach it, and definitely give this video a thumbs up, and if I get it to 1,500 likes, I will definitely have that on your way, because it's gonna be a lot of work for Granny Anna, but if you need it, I'm gonna have your back, okay? Number 2, study funnel. Now, if you haven't watched my videos on how to take good quality notes, I highly recommend you give it a little look, because it is insanely important to understand the concept of funneling. When you are studying for an exam, especially in a short amount of time, you cannot study the top of the funnel or the bottom of the pyramid. Call it whatever you want. You need to study the tiny little thing at the bottom, that, or the tip of the pyramid. This is getting very factual. Yeah. Bottom line, you cannot rely on a study technique like highlighting to study in a short amount of time, because going back to your heavy textbooks after you've read your heavy textbooks is extremely frustrating, and just looking at it, man, it's like so discouraging. So every single time you look at the material and you actively engage the material, think of the funnel. Make it smaller and smaller and more precise and more to the point as possible. It should really go from textbook reading to textbook notes. And then the last thing right there should be study guide. And then even smaller is practice tests. Number 3, something I am 1,000,000,000% guilty of. Avoiding unknowns. This is like the most blatant example of self-sabotage if I've ever seen one, but it is very common for students, especially when we're pressed for time and worried, to unwillingly, subconsciously avoid difficult parts of the material or things we're not comfortable with. So let's say I'm studying for my PMP exam. The procurement management chapter will probably be the death of me. And you know what? I don't think I've read it at all. I mean, I've read all the other chapters, but that one, I always justify it in my mind like, this is a difficult chapter. I'll read it when I have more time, or I'll read it once I finish all the easier chapter first. Stop avoiding difficult stuff. Make them a priority. Number 4, study leaves. If at all is possible for you to take a day off from work, or to, don't tell your parents, skip a class to come home and study for an exam you're having trouble in, or that you have too little time to study for, please don't beat yourself up. Please take the time and just study, versus you pulling an all-nighter, not getting sleep, not getting a good breakfast, and just completely neglecting your health. I've done this in high school. Guilty, fully, I admit. I've skipped around 3 gym classes to come home and study for calculus. But I just feel that no one ever tells you that it's okay to do this. So I just want to put it out there. It's fully okay. You don't have to push yourself to the limit. You can't do 1 billion things at the same time. At one point, if you have to make that sacrifice, number one, it's okay. And number two, make it count. And finally, number 5, effort duplication. Again, I'm fully guilty of this being a perfectionist. A lot of times in high school or in CJEP, I used to rewrite my class notes. I used to rewrite my textbook notes. I used to rewrite the entire textbook when I was taking textbook notes. Don't do that. It's a waste of time. Think of the funnel. You need to approach the material in a way of like eliminating it, making it more concise, summarizing it, making it more to the point. If you're blatantly just recopying things, or yes, I have to say, if you go over what you highlighted in the book and don't act on those highlighting things, you're duplicating your effort. You're rereading something you've read before instead of just actively taking it and doing something with it. So instead of just rereading the same thing a billion times, try summarizing it. Try making practice test questions out of it. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe to me if you like what you see, because I post videos every Thursday. And before I leave you, I just want to say a huge thank you to all the positive feedback on my last video with my mommy. She is reading all your comments and she is loving it. So thank you so much for showing her so much love and support. We really appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun filming with my mom. So thank you guys. Like, seriously, that was awesome.